What's up everybody, I'm Justin with AmericanMuscle.com and welcome to my detailed breakdown and install of Cervini's C-Series upper and lower grille kit available for your 2015 and newer Mustang. So in this detailed review, I plan on talking about the C-Series grille kit here from Cervini's and who it might appeal to, what you're going to be looking at from a construction and material standpoint, and then finally we'll kind of breeze over the installation process. I'm going strong 1 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter here, gang. Yes, the bumper has to come off. Yes, there is a small amount of drilling, and no, it really isn't all that bad. But nevertheless, I will have some more detail later on. Now, the C-Series upper and lower grille kit from Cervini should appeal to S550 owners out there really for a number of different reasons. First and foremost, of course, it's going to be for the guys and gals who want to change up the look of the front end, but really only slightly thanks to the rather simple design of the C-Series grille. You are going to be deleting that pony, of course, and you are going to be keeping things relatively affordable here in the land of upper and lower grille combinations. In fact, at right around the $400 price point, only the modern billet stuff will be slightly more affordable, but not by much, and in my opinion, the Cervini stuff has a small leg up in quality. I also really enjoy how Cervini's tosses in this perforated metal material for basically all of the grille openings here, which does give you a couple of different options on how you want this thing to look, essentially giving you 2 big options when it comes to overall appearance. And if you want a better idea of how it might look either way, check out the customer submitted images on the product page. There are a few S550 owners rocking this grille one of 2 ways. It'll give you a better idea how it might look on your own ride. Well, let's break down the appearance of the C-Series upper and lower grille from Cervini's, and at its core, it's a very basic design and a popular design at that, right? Because you're seeing some of the similarities with the stock GT grille, along with some other aftermarket offerings on the site as well. And of course, I'm referring to this 3-window design. As you can see here, you get the 2 smaller nostrils, if you will, on the end, a larger opening in the middle, and the same can be said for the lower grille here as well. First up, those V6 and EcoBoost owners can look forward to a huge departure from the factory grille and just a total transformation for the front end. Let's face it guys, those factory 4 and 6 banger grills aren't really that exciting, right? You just got a bunch of honeycomb, that horse just kind of existing in the big opening. Really not a whole lot going on to break that up. The GT grille, on the other hand, from the factory is a little better. You got that 3-window design, but the C-Series grille from Cervini's, in my opinion, is going to help clean up the front end a little bit by eliminating that pony. And I know this one might sound like a stretch a little bit, guys, but bear with me. These 2 little fangs here, I think, are angled a little bit more with the Cervini's grille, and it does help attribute to a more aggressive appearance once the grille is installed. I know, again, sounds a little crazy, but that is just my 2 cents. But really hammering home this total facelift look with the Cervini's kit is the inclusion of the lower grille, of course, here. And as you can see, it really just follows the same architecture as that upper grille, really just helps nail the look when both are installed. Do keep in mind though, even though we are featuring both grills kind of as a combo kit here with this particular video, these grills are available separately if you'd like on the site, but just bear in mind, if you do buy them both together at the same time, you're gonna be saving yourself 50 bucks in the process. So I feel like we've talked about the styling pretty much ad nauseum by now, but let's talk about what else you can expect here with the grille kit from Cervini's as far as a quality or construction standpoint. And you're going to be looking at a high quality automotive grade polyurethane for the construction here, for the most part, with the exception of all the grills, of course, which do feature this matte black powder coated metal mesh. Just be careful with these guys when you're unboxing everything, as they are kind of a little thin and you can bend them pretty easily if you're not paying attention. One thing that Cervini's is happy to point out with their C-Series stuff is that you will be increasing airflow into the front end of the car, more specifically that radiator area, which I don't have any scientific evidence to back up, but on the surface, it's pretty easy to see why. If you've ever dissected that factory grille, at least just with your eyes, you'll notice, yes, there is some opening here in the center, but around the edges and even the nostrils themselves are pretty much blocked off. I'd say probably 25% of the grille area with the factory grille is sealed. That's obviously not the case here with the Cervini's. As you can see, we're wide open on every single opening here, obviously backing up their claims. Not a huge deal, but definitely worth pointing out. All right, so we've broken down the styling, we've talked about the construction, we've even mentioned this thing being very affordable at the $400 price point. that leaves us with the installation. And again, this is just going to be a brief rundown. I'm not going step by step because Cervini's, they do include some very detailed instructions in the box, and we do include some very detailed instructions on the product page, so just bear that in mind. But what I will tell you is expect a relatively strong 1 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter and about an hour or 2 of your time removing the factory stuff and getting the new Cervini's grills in place. As far as your basic tool list, well, you're looking at a socket set here, a few screwdrivers including both Phillips and flathead. Don't forget your drill along with a 3/16 inch drill bit, and then finally a fine tip pen or marker just to mark a few holes where you will be doing some drilling. The bumper does need to come off in order to swap grills, and that is pretty much par for the course with most aftermarket grills you'll find on the site, with the lone exception being those overlays. Now, removing your factory bumper really isn't all that difficult, guys. There's a lot of push pins, there's a few screws and things like that in the fender well area, so just tackle those. And once that bumper is free, set it on a towel or something like that so you don't scratch that thing up while you're doing all your work. Now, in order to separate the grill from the bumper, you're gonna find a bunch of little tabs that you will need to separate using a flathead screwdriver. Once you separate all the tabs, that grill upper and lower should just pop right out. Once the factory grills are out of the way, you're gonna need to grab this guide tool that Cervini's includes with their grill kit, and this will be used to make a few marks on the tabs located on the factory bumper, which will be drilled out by the drill and 3/16 inch bit. They do recommend wrapping some tape halfway down the drill bit just kind of as a stop to make sure you don't drill too far. Once all your holes are drilled, go ahead and grab the included hardware from Cervini's, install the upper and lower grills into the bumper one at a time. If you did want to install the mesh inserts, now would be the time to do so. Once everything is wrapped up, you can reinstall that factory bumper in reverse order, and your install is complete. So whether you're trying to recreate your own C-Series Cervini S550 Mustang using the individual parts, or you just like the look of the grills by themselves, I really think you're gonna dig this kit, and here's why. First and foremost, the look is well executed. It's a simple design, but one that works very well on the S550 Mustang. The fitment is on point if you don't mind a little bit of drilling. The price is certainly right, and I really like how Cervini's gives you a couple of options with the appearance thanks to the included mesh inserts. So guys, that's gonna wrap me up here. I hope you enjoyed the overview, and if you want to check out more of the Cervini's offerings for your S550 Mustang, you can do so right here at AmericanMuscle.com.